Hi, welcome to Lee Bay. Today we've come down over the Devon border and basically we're heading down there. Not to be confused with the Lee Bay that's a bit further down the coast. This one is by Lee Abbey, which is just over there somewhere behind the hedges, and Valley of the Rocks outside of Linton. So first of all, this is the car park. It's £1 for 2 hours, £2 for half a day, £3 all day. So it's not outrageous, to be fair. Just be careful on the way in. Sometimes the track's a bit worn and it can like trash your underside of your car if you've got a low car. But I've come down in Mondeo Estate and it's perfectly fine. So anyway, we're going to go down there in a second, and there's also a toll road on the way in. That's what I was going to say. I knew there was something, and basically that's a couple of quid just to maintain the roads. It is a voluntary donation, but it's one that I always do, and I think it's worthwhile, especially if it keeps things open. So with that, we're just going to head on down out of the car park, and we'll get down on the beach. So we're just coming out of the car park, and all around here, if you've got family with you or something, there's woodland walks, there's a tea cottage, but that's summer only, I believe. And on our way down, there's also self-catering accommodation. So if you fancy a holiday, I think it houses up to 10 or 12, something along those lines. So it's not too bad. But anyway, there's also a toilet block, male, female and disabled. And we'll just go for a nice, easy walk down. The walk down is easy. The walk back up, not so easy. Not that it's terrible, it's only a short walk. So if someone would like to hurry up, then we'll get down there a bit quicker. So Lee Bay is good for a number of reasons. It's a great summer venue, not so much in the winter. You get your conger and your huss down here in the winter, and I've also had a crazy whiting session once off the rocks where I had over 30 whiting. Some of them were alright size, the rest were good conger bait size. Mind you, that was a good number of years ago. It's when I was writing for Sea Angling newspaper. So yeah, conger, huss, they're your main species down here. In the summer it changes. You get your mackerel, your garfish, your pollock, your bass by spinning off the end of the rocks. You do get bass in close as well. The water here, the clarity is fantastic. It's absolutely crystal clear. So makes fishing quite a pleasure. You've got high bank sides as well, so you don't really get any wind disturbance or anything else. If there's a heavy north wind, stay well off the rocks, don't go on them. Likewise, if there's a heavy west wind, come off them. If it looks a bit dangerous, don't bother. Every time I'm on the rocks, I also wear a life vest. Water safety at the end of the day is paramount. Danny don't need it today because he's spinning off the beach. But anyway, here we are. We're coming down onto the beach. This is a stone gravel beach that gives way onto beautiful golden sand. It's tightly compacted. It doesn't swallow leads or anything, but it can have a fierce rip on the flood from left to right. The last few times I fished it from the beach, I found I needed 7-ounce weights just to hold bottom. So that's the accommodation that I've been told you can rent. I'm sure it houses up to something like 12 people. And here we are. This is Lee Bay. I think this is actually where the photo from our website was taken as well, which, if you don't know, is www.thesnagfishingblog.co.uk. So from high water on the largest tides, you can fish from up on the end here, and on some of the lower high tides you can fish off of these rocks in front of us, and you get all sorts of species. You get wrasse, like I say, you get your huss, conger, there's so many, it's unreal. It's great, but I don't often see dogfish here. Right, just get down to the beach carefully.
I'm going to go and check this what's all out over.
Yep, no worries mate, go on then. So if you fish in between these rocks, you've got this like fine sort of grey sand type gravel. If I can hold it far enough far away. It's like a sand, it's just a bit bigger though. And it's I've had quite a few bass off here. I say you can spin, bait fish, whatever you want. We're going to head over onto the rock platforms over there in a minute, and I'll explain what type of fishing I do over there. But just before we go over there, you'll see this black and green band of weed on the rocks. You have to be super careful on these. It's like ice. It's absolutely deadly. No matter what time of year it is, it's really bad. So with that, I'm just going to try and find the best way over. There's never any real good way, to be honest. So with that, I'm going to turn off for a second, just get the other side of it so I can use both hands. So okay, with that safely negotiated, I figured we'll come down and have a look at the sand first, just so you can see that. There are large boulders and stuff down here if you're fishing this back, but generally speaking, it's not too bad. If you use a rotten bottom, you might lose the odd lead, but I generally get my gear back. The boulders are rounded and they tend to slide round. You do want heavy mono rigs here. I don't use anything less than £100 on my rig body, and £60 is a minimum for my hook lengths. You can jig and spin off of these rocks behind me. They've got some nice little platforms on, as you also can over here on the left hand side. But a word of caution, if you're fishing the left hand side, you need to move off before the water's level with you. You get cut off. If you're cut off, then it becomes a R&LI job. So just gonna get across this. If I was really sensible, I should have brought wellies. But where's the fun in that, hey? Ooh. Normally really brave until I got like an expensive camera in my hand. Okay, so some of these big boulders do move, you have to be aware. Not all of them, but generally speaking they're pretty safe and solid. So, okay, let's get down onto the sand. So the top bait down here is sand eel. If you've ever been down here before in the summer, where the water's so crystal clear, you can get to like sort of head height and still see crystal clear through. It's great. But it's sand eel central here. All really small sand eels, but sand eel central. So a really good bait. So the other species that I come fishing down here for is taupe. You can catch taupe off the end of the rocks. Those who don't know, if you're looking for taupe anywhere with a sandy bottom, lots of bait fish that comes onto rocks where they can ambush them, you're going to do reasonably well. So we'll just walk out. You can get rays off the sand. I've had a couple of small eyes, but nothing of size. They're about £4 or £5, but always nice to see nonetheless. Like I say, a heavy north wind or a heavy west wind here is very dangerous, but during the summer, absolutely cracking. That's some nice huss from here. I had one, a decent one with my mate who had to go down and get it. I couldn't reel that one up. It was £9.13 or something like that. So here we are. Right, get a good view of the sand is like heavily compacted. You can't leave much dent or anything. And just give you a little panoramic of Lee Bay. I say if you fish on these rocks over to the left hand side, it's literally get round there as soon as you can as the tide's going out, and then as soon as the tides turn, as soon as it starts coming in, get your butt back round, or you're going to be cut off and you're going to be in big trouble. There's no way up the hill there, it's all sheer cliff face. So with that, I'm going to take you over to where I go fishing off the rocks. I quite often fish this patch during the summer, during the day. You might as well forget about it. It's a bit of a secret beach for all the locals, so sort of you get all the people like our side of Somerset and Devon coming down here. It's never heaving, but the water's always busy with swimmers and groups of people, which is why we come out onto the rocks, because generally speaking you get out a lot further and you don't have the trouble of the people swimming in front of you or doing water sports, boarding, paddle boarding, all that sort of thing. So these rocks are not really mega friendly as far as like accessibility for some people. If your mobility is not 100%, then this is not going to be for you. There are easier paths and harder paths. Make it as hard for yourself as you want. But I can generally get over here. My fitness is not stunning at the moment, but as long as your legs are good, you should be okay. So you might have the odd climb like that, something sort of from feet to neck height, but it gives way onto big slabs like this. I don't go right up against the cliffs just for safety reasons. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little hop over there. Make sure Boy Wonder's catching up. You alright back there?
Yeah.
Good, good. Hopefully he won't disappear down an hole somewhere. So I've come to this point on purpose. This point here, it's about a quarter of the way in. You can't really see it from the beach too well, and you can't see it from the other side where you're going to be on the rocks. But this bit here, channel in front of you, it all fills with water. So when the tide is flooding, don't leave it too long. You leave it too long, you're going to be stranded. If it's a beautiful day and it's a lower tide, alright, you might get away with it, but as you can see from the rocks around here, it's black, covered in limpets. That's because the water comes up over all of this, completely covers it. So we've got a good vantage point. I normally go over here. I'll put a picture of the huss that I caught in the top corner. You'll have to excuse the man boobs. It was blistering hot that day, and we had the heat coming off the rocks as well, but great fishing. As you can see down there, there's weed beds on the rocks, which is great for spinning and stuff. Just don't go right down to the bottom, because you tend to lose a lure or two if that's the case. But sand eel lures work well here. Savage gear, sand eel, jellies, skerries, all that sort of thing. What have you got with you today? Whopper plopper, yeah. Skerries, yeah.
Some rubbery.
And some rubbery ones, so the jelly eels, yeah. So he's got sand eel looking things, and he's got really obnoxious, outrageous big white thing with a fan on the back that's called a whopper plopper. It makes a hell of a noise on the surface, but it does score bass. Anyway, with that, I'm just going to have to turn off for a minute because I need to do a little bit of climbing, and then I can look back and show you all. So here we are. You can go right around to the point, which I never do. It's too easy to get cut off. But there's plenty of like rocky platforms here, like this one or that one. I quite often fish off this one here that I'm looking at right now, which is right near the second point in. And like I say, I cast out. It looks horrendous down below, but it's really not that bad. When the water comes up, just get your lead up quick from out there. I tend to fish on the edge of the rocks in the weed that's all down in front here. If you're going for tope, obviously just wang out a bait a bit further. You'll soon know when you have one on. But as I say, once you're here, it's not too bad walking. The only thing is, I don't like to carry a lot of gear here. It's a pain in the bum. There is a nice platform just over there that's on the slant. Allows you to cast out a bit more off the point if that's your thing. But I've never found no problem right here, to be fair. So anyway, facing back over there, the water comes in all across here on this lower lying rock, and it cuts into the rock face here. As long as you don't leave it too long, you're perfectly safe. You just got to climb over the bigger boulders on the left hand side facing that way. So my advice is fish this 2 hours down, 1 hour back. If you leave on that hour, you'll be safe, you'll make it back no problem. And sometimes people think, oh, it's all right, I can leave it a bit longer, it doesn't look like it. Again, it's that bit just around the corner that you can't see, that, and it floods up basically, and you won't be getting back. So it's a cracking little venue, absolutely stunning. You won't find many other people down here. You'll very rarely get bothered by anyone. You get to see puffins flying over that come from the rocks over there. You see them carrying sand eels in their beak back, fly real low and buzz you. Do you remember those buzzing you last year when you're spinning? Yeah. That's right, yeah. So, like I say, I wouldn't recommend fishing that left-hand side over there. It's just too easy to come a cropper. But as for the rest, this can be a stunning venue. The main species you'll see off the rocks: bass, pollock, mackerel, garfish. You can use float tactics, LRF, spinning. You can do your jigging here, everything. It's got a bit of everything for everyone. And you can do your bait fishing off the rocks as well. I tend to bring a spin rod with a large rod, whack one out for taupe, and do a bit of spinning while I'm waiting. But as you can see, nice day. Right, Lee Bay, Devon. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying these beach things, please leave a comment of anywhere that you would like done. There's a lot of beaches that I've been travelling to and like to fish, so I've got the rest of Cornwall and Devon coming up as well. We'll head up to Kilve, Lil Starker, East Quantock's Head. Still got to do all of those. They'll be coming in the coming weeks. So yeah, give us a like and a subscribe, give us a share. The more that come makes my life easier and keeps me at it. Right, enjoy, tight lines. So just heading back, one final thought that I'd forgotten to mention is you won't get any phone signal down here. So it's always best to let someone know where you're going, because if you get into trouble, you're not going to be able to raise help yourself. So with that, enjoy, catch you all soon.